The mysterious vanishing plane that reappeared. 37 years later. A routine flight, a clear morning, and a journey that should have lasted just a few hours. Instead, it turned into one of the greatest aviation mysteries of all time. Pan Am Flight 914 took off from New York in 1955, vanished without a trace, and then, 37 years later, reappeared as if it had never been gone. Was it a hoax? A government cover-up? Or did something truly unexplainable happen in the skies that day? Buckle up, because this is the eerie story of Pan Am Flight 914. July 2nd, 1955. It was supposed to be just another day at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Passengers were boarding Pan American Airways Flight 914, a Douglas DC-4 airliner bound for Miami, Florida. 57 passengers, 4 crew members, all set for a 3-hour journey to paradise. But fate had other plans. The flight took off at 9:55 a.m. It was a clear day, perfect flying conditions. But as the aircraft reached cruising altitude, something went terribly wrong. At some point during the flight, the plane simply disappeared, gone from radar. No distress signals, no emergency calls, just poof. The control tower in Miami never received the expected arrival call, and despite exhaustive searches, no wreckage, no debris, nothing was ever found. It was as if Flight 914 had been erased from existence. Authorities were baffled. The families were devastated. Months turned into years, and eventually Pan Am. Flight 914 was declared lost, its passengers and crew presumed dead. Case closed. Or so everyone thought. Then something impossible happened. Fast forward to September 9th, 1992. The Caracas, Venezuela air traffic control team was going through a routine day when an unidentified aircraft suddenly appeared on their radar. It had seemingly come out of nowhere, heading straight for the airport. Confused, the tower attempted to establish communication. There was an aircraft approaching, one that matched the long-lost Pan Am Flight 914. The tower frantically searched their records, confirming the impossible. This flight had disappeared 37 years. As the plane came into sight, the control tower saw something chilling. It looked old. Not worn out, not outdated, but old, as if it had been frozen in time. The aircraft design, the markings, even the uniforms of the crew, it all screamed 1950s. And then came the real shocker. When the controllers asked where they had been all this time, the pilot's voice crackled over the radio with panic. Now, let's pause for a second. If this was truly the missing Flight 914, how had it traveled 37 years into the future? Was it a time slip, a wormhole, or something else entirely? Theory 1. A time slip. Some researchers believe that time isn't linear, that there are anomalies, glitches if you will, where an object can unknowingly pass through a different dimension, only to emerge in another time. Did Flight 914 stumble into one of these mysterious time warps? Theory 2. Government cover-up. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the US government knew about Flight 914's disappearance, and possibly even orchestrated it as part of a top-secret experiment in teleportation or time travel. Sounds crazy? Maybe not. After all, history is filled with classified experiments that the public only found out about decades later. Theory 3. A complete hoax. Of course, skeptics argue that the entire story is fabricated. They claim no official records exist of Flight 914's reappearance, and the details are too fantastical to be real. Could it all have been an elaborate urban legend? A mix of misreported events that took on a life of their own? Here's the most chilling part. According to some versions of the story, as soon as the plane landed in Caracas, something strange happened. Ground crew reported that the pilot and passengers seemed confused and terrified. They kept insisting that they had just taken off a few hours ago. Then, before authorities could properly investigate, the pilot allegedly panicked, restarted the engines, and took off again, vanishing once more into the sky. To this day, Pan Am Flight 914 remains one of the most perplexing aviation mysteries ever recorded. Did it truly reappear? If so, where did it go for 37 years? Or was this all just an elaborate urban legend? The answer may never be known. But one thing's for sure, next time you step onto a plane, remember, not all flights land where or when they're supposed to. What do you think happened to Flight 914? Drop your theories in the comments below.